What if I told you that Earth is actually flat, and our world is a big billiard table where the planets, like balls, hit each other to form new celestial bodies? Okay, of course, this is all a joke. Or not? You're about to find out and see it all. This is Infinity, and in this episode I'll show you the only real picture of our planet, as well as share some crazy world-changing theories. Let me tell you right off the bat, everything we're going to talk about today is nothing more than curious theory. No one is sure of that. I'm just sharing some interesting information that you should enjoy. Now let's get started. Is Earth really round? Centuries ago, this question would have puzzled all scientists and researchers. They wouldn't have been able to give an answer. But today, they'll tell us, of course it is. Look at the pictures from space. Look at the live broadcast from the ISS. Listen to the astronauts' words, and so on.
It's really something super fantastic here. You could never imagine this.
But what do you say to that? What you're looking at here is a picture from a secret U.S. lab dated 1972. It was taken by their personal satellite. The photo clearly shows that our whole Earth is nothing more than a pit, and around us is a real, full-fledged galaxy. It's likely to say that all these people who fly into space are pretending and only making faces for the cameras, while ordinary people are being brainwashed. But what's the purpose of this? What's the point of this? Given that Earth is full of huge canyons and other holes, we can make the assumption that our planet is nothing more than a huge mine, and the people on it are those who can mine these very resources. It's not without reason that people invented this kind of arc takeoff of spaceships or rockets. It's allegedly to get the transport into orbit. If you look at the pictures again, everything falls into place. People fly at this angle just to get where real, full life is flowing. Some scientists are considering a different theory about our solar system. They're convinced that the galaxy can be compared to a billiard table on which the planets act as balls that are constantly rolling and colliding, resulting in the formation of new planets. It was this theory, by the way, that was touched upon by scientist and psychoanalyst Immanuel Velikovsky in his 1950s bestseller, Worlds in Collision. According to the author, more than 3,000 years ago, something hit Jupiter, and a space object was formed. It wandered around this very billiard table for a long time and caused many catastrophes because of its high speed. Nevertheless, it soon slowed down and transformed into what we call Venus today. Of course, most physicists and chemists immediately rejected Velikovsky's theory, at the very least because it violated Newton's laws. The other rebuttal was more substantial. It said that the planets had different compositions, so Venus couldn't be part of Jupiter. Nevertheless, no one was able to definitively disprove this theory, nor was anyone able to prove it. While many of you may not have heard of this controversy, what you certainly have heard of is the Big Bang Theory. Its essence is that an entire universe, constantly expanding and cooling, emerged from some tiny particle after the explosion. But what if this very Big Bang was caused by an equally big collision? According to a theory that went public in 2001, there used to be two universes that randomly collided to form what is now called our universe. The expansion of the universe is due to the fact that there are many more of these universes, and they gradually collide somewhere in space, forming a continuation. However, no one said that at one moment our universe could not collide with another universe of the same size, which would create a completely new platform for life. Black holes. Everyone knows what it is, at least from physics textbooks or from the movie Interstellar. By the way, if you haven't watched it, check it out. It's a cool movie. A black hole is a region of space-time where gravity is so strong that nothing, including light or other electromagnetic waves, has enough energy to escape it. Because of this, such holes suck in everything that's nearby. Often, these holes are formerly huge stars that collapsed to extreme density during supernova's explosions. We've done with black holes, but nature always shows people perfect symmetry, doesn't it? In all aspects of life, there is something opposite. And since there are black holes, why not give the right to life to white ones as well, the ones with the opposite effect? If the former suck everything around them into themselves, then the latter, by logic, should, on the contrary, push everything away. Maybe that's why we've never seen them before. It's simply impossible to get close to them. The trend of our years suggests that everything is moving toward virtual reality. Because of this, there are also enthusiasts who believe that our entire universe is essentially an illusion. Thus, our bodies are not really three-dimensional, but ordinary 2D immersed in a virtual world. At first, this theory sounds completely stupid, but if you delve into it a little better, then slowly you begin to think. This idea is based on the assumptions that in our world, all space and time are not continuous. The so-called image scale cannot be increased. Something like pixelation of the image occurs at a very high magnification. If you believe this theory, then our universe only exists in 2 dimensions, while the third one is nothing more than a fake. The funny thing is that this theory cannot be disproved. It's simply impossible to move faster than light, and this suggests that it's impossible to determine what exactly is in front of us, illusion or reality. Nevertheless, the theory is really curious. Don't look at one point. Here's a suggestion that's much more down to earth and clear, but doesn't lose its uniqueness. Each of us has witnessed that when you wait, time goes on and on. Time keeps jogging on and like never before. But once you stop watching it, time literally flies. What is it? Simple inattention of people or a pattern? In the face of this fact, some scientists have made the assumption that if you look at the universe or part of it for a long time, this process will destroy it. According to scientists, about 4% of all space in our world is occupied by matter – rocks, water, glass, and other materials. About 25% of it is dark matter. You've hardly ever seen it because it's impossible. Nevertheless, it does exist, as evidenced by the gravitational effects it produces on other objects in space. And the other 70+% is attributed to the so-called dark energy. It raises even more questions than dark matter. Scientists aren't yet quite sure what it is, but it's this invisible force, in their opinion, that's accelerating the expansion of the universe. This interesting topic couldn't help but attract scientists, one of whom made a curious statement. In his opinion, observing an object can affect that very object. And this is a fact. It's the same principle that applies to the dark energy that's all around us. In other words, if we observe the dark energy, we can thereby disrupt its internal quantum clock, which in turn can cause matter to return to an earlier form of its existence. It's because of this time can slow down, and in theory, we fall into oblivion. Black holes again. Yes, we managed to touch upon the subject of black holes today, and as you remember, they attract nearly everything. So it is in fact. But for some reason, many people think that if you find yourself in a black hole, you're gone forever. You'll be erased and you won't be able to exist anymore. Sounds very scary and frightening, doesn't it? It seems like you could go and make a new horror movie, but actually, scientifically speaking, that's not really true. If you look at the situation from the outside, it becomes clear that if any object absorbs all the others, then the whole world simply won't make sense. Because of this, we can conclude that the objects absorbed by a black hole remain in existence. The information about them is not erased, but probably they change their form or find themselves in an alternate reality. In any case, they remain alive. Does the moon rotate? Scientists ask this question from time to time, and they come up with new theories. But take yourself as an example. Think of the moon, or just look out the window. Do you think it's moving or in a static position? In fact, the object is moving. However, its speed is not to be envied. 1 revolution in about 1 Earth month. However, you should also take into account the fact that the moon doesn't only move around its own axis, but also around Earth. So the natural satellite of our planet is always turned to us with only one side. This effect is called synchronous rotation. That's why you can never see the entire moon from Earth. Half of the celestial body will always remain hidden from view, and you can only see it from the opposite side, the one from which you'll never see Earth. Pulsars are alien radio? This is a very interesting and fascinating topic to discuss. Theories could not help but arise from it, one of which I'll tell you about. Some scientists think that pulsars are not just a source of random radiation coming to Earth, but some way for aliens to talk to us. In case anyone didn't know, an object called a pulsar is a source of electromagnetic radiation that it releases every few seconds as it rotates. All these beams of energy pass through the entire universe, which could very well be like radio waves and some kind of message. In fact, it's quite possible because it's always possible to refer to the lack of information and technical training of mankind. Nevertheless, so far it's not been possible to establish something like a message from extraterrestrials. All records of emissions are not similar in any way, and moreover, the frequency is constantly changing. However, the constant appearance of pulsars leads scientists back to the very idea that something is encrypted in them after all. What do you think? Could some alien beings be communicating with us in this way? Or is it nothing more than wishful thinking? Planet X. In 1995, an American woman who was leading an online discussion told people about a theory that can blow your mind. According to her, the woman had been abducted by aliens not long ago. Their goal was clear and understandable: to implant something like a tiny tap in her head through which aliens could broadcast thoughts and warnings to save humanity. One of their first messages was a warning about some Planet X, which was moving toward Earth and would inevitably collide with it. Curiously enough, according to the aliens, the planet has no orbit and is not attached to any system. Thus, people don't even know about it. Given the size of the space body moving towards us, after the collision, a mass catastrophe will be inevitable, and probably the end of the world will occur. It's funny, but an ordinary woman was able to create such a newsbreak that even representatives of NASA came out to reassure people. The employees said that their most powerful satellites would have detected this planet and have informed people. But everyone understands that they would have told us nothing. In that case, chaos and lawlessness would begin. If we count several decades from the moment of the statement, then the time of the collision, according to the woman, will just happen in the next couple of years. That's all, guys. Which theory seemed the most plausible to you? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.